Hello, Oregon community, and welcome back to the show. I'm Dottie Love with Sporty Speakers. The topic we'll discuss on this segment is about living better and better life management via coaching. Joining me to discuss how you can benefit from life coaching is Liesel Revere, a trauma and recovery coach. I am so glad that you're here today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So who is Liesel and why do you do what you do?
Those are great questions. So who is Liesl? So I consider myself kind of simple but complicated. I have a variety of different interests. I'm a mom of 5 kids.
Wow.
I raised 4 of them were boys and I survived.
Oh.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
I also, some of my children are on the autism spectrum and have mental health challenges with anxiety and depression. And then I have a mother who I help take care of. So kind of what I do for other people, she has mental health and physical challenges. And then I have kind of some fun hobbies. I'm an urban farmer.
Urban farmer.
Yeah, I ran an urban farm on my own property of about 1/3 of an acre for several years where we just built it up from the ground floor, and that was really exciting. I love that. I'm also a survivor of abuse and trauma. And then last but not least, I'm a dancer.
Oh,
I love to go ballroom and country dancing.
I love it.
Yeah.
What diversity.
That's my play.
Yes.
That's my, time, self-care.
And because of the work that you do, it seems like a nice way to add more, if you want to call it relaxation, an outlet to your life. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. And actually, after I started dancing again, I danced a lot as a young adult and teenager and kind of gave it up while I was raising my kids. And then when I took it back up, I started doing some studying about some somatic stuff where we hold trauma in our body.
Yeah.
And dancing can actually be very beneficial for just being mindful and present and releasing trauma in the body. Yeah.
Because I want you to help me with the definition.
Okay.
Because typically when people hear the terms life coach, they go to where probably my head goes to, which is career coaching, success coaching. What you do is a lot different than that. What is the type of coaching that you provide?
So I provide mindful and emotional health life coaching. So what I do is I focus on and specialize in people that are recovering from trauma and abuse. So I teach a lot about emotional health, emotional intelligence, regulation, trigger management, all the things that can come along with trauma and abuse.
Got
and
it.
I provide support, for people on a weekly basis, usually.
Yeah.
Just where they want to go, the direction they want to go in their life.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And when you and I talked about this before, you gave me this definition. You're like, Dottie, there is big T trauma and there is little t trauma. I thought it was all trauma.
Right.
There's a difference. And
Right.
people react differently based on what space they fall in.
Sure.
What is the definition of big T and how does that show up in someone's day?
So big T trauma is more of an event. So it might be a divorce, it might be an abuse event, it might be war, it could be a natural disaster, those kind of things where something really dramatic happens all of the sudden for you that your brain is not able to process. And so it kind of shuts down, it goes into shock. And some of the symptoms that you would see with that would be severe anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, disconnection, an inability to connect with other people, things like that, where you're just really super anxious. Depression can definitely be one of those, very serious onset depression.
And they typically, in your definition of big T, it's an event that has an ongoing, everlasting, or pretty long-lasting impact.
Correct.
Versus a little t, and what kind of trauma falls into that space, and how does that show up in a person's life?
So little t trauma might be more like if you're working in a hostile work environment where you've not actually experienced an event, any abuse or anything like that. Raising a child with a disability or having a family member with a disability, maybe physical, mental, emotional, where things accumulate.
Got it.
Where things are hard and you kind of have to be, both in the big T and the small t trauma comes some vigilance.
Yes.
So you're needing to be extra aware of your environment and not being able to really settle in and feel safe in the world and feel comfortable.
That makes sense. This is great work in my opinion.
Thank you.
How did you get to this path? What took you down this career path?
So in my family, there were definitely mental health and emotional challenges. And as I mentioned before, I'm a survivor of abuse and trauma myself.
Yeah.
And I was the girl in high school that everybody came to for advice. When they needed support, when they needed empathy, all that kind of stuff, they came to me. And so I went
So you fell into this naturally?
I did. It's me being able to use my gift, a
Yes.
gift that I have to connect with people, to be empathetic. I did take 1 year of sociology in college, and then decided to get married and have kids and put that on the background. And then when I decided to move into a career, I had benefited a lot myself from coaches and mentors in my life. And so I decided that was the path I wanted to take.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And the body of work that you do, it falls into 3 categories, and I want to get these right.
Okay.
There is, because there's a building block effect that you like to make sure that you're not working on one thing, but in multiple areas, so it has a more beneficial impact.
All interrelated.
And I heard the term self-compassion.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the term resilience, and then mindfulness. What are those 3, and how do they interrelate in the work that you do?
So self-compassion is a big movement right now by a lady called Kristen Neff.
Okay.
And the idea behind it is that we are really hard on ourselves.
We are.
We have all this shame
We do.
and this negative committee in our head that tells us all the bad things about
I need a
ourselves.
sofa.
I know.
So I can get this out.
Yeah, and so self-compassion teaches us to be very graceful towards ourselves.
Yes.
To accept our common humanity with other people.
Yeah.
And to be able to stay connected even when we feel like going to a place of disconnection because we feel like we're not good enough.
Yeah.
Not good enough is the main core issue for almost everybody that I
think
work
so.
with. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and then we have the resilience, which resilience is your ability to bounce back after adversity. When you've experienced trauma, that can be hard.
Yeah.
You know, you go to that fear that something bad is happening again, and you don't quite have the skill set. The great thing about resilience is it is a skill set. It's not something you're born with or not born with. Some people are born leaning more towards it. Like you might see a family, you say, well, that kid just seems to be more resilient. But it is a skill that you can learn, and it has a lot to do with your thinking styles and the story you tell yourself about what it means about what happened. That matters more than anything else.
Got it.
And then the mindfulness comes in as a self-awareness to be able to be present. A lot of time when we're teaching people mindfulness, we start with mindful eating just to teach a simple skill, and it means
Did you say mindful eating?
eating. Yes.
Like
Yeah.
consumption?
Yeah, so there's actually a technique where you, in a mindful class, you might bring raisins, and you would have the person just like feel the texture, notice the taste, chew on it, notice, everything about it, and do it very slowly. Because in our society, right, we're like,
That's right.
Right.
And of course, we're doing 9 other things while we're doing that.
Exactly. And so mindfulness teaches a skill set to come present and to live right now, but also to be aware of what you're feeling emotionally, what you're thinking, what your beliefs are, with no judgment.
Got it.
And so you learn to respond instead of react. Reaction is, I felt that, I did this. I didn't think about it. I didn't consider anything about it. Response is, oh, I feel that. I'm gonna sit with it for a little bit. It's okay, I'm safe. I'm angry, I'm scared, I'm whatever, but I'm safe, it's okay. I'm gonna ride the wave, and then I'll make a decision about how to respond to this situation.
And with the work that you do with the people that you work with, and can I call them clients?
Yeah, they are clients, yeah.
You try to give support in all of those areas so they get
Right.
more well-rounded
Correct.
support,
Yes.
right? And I almost use the word therapy, but the body of work that you do is not therapy.
Right.
It's a different approach. And how would you describe or define that?
So one of the differences is that a therapist is licensed and has a degree in that specific area, and they treat and diagnose mental illness, and I do not do those things. So I consider a therapist like a surgeon. So you might break a bone and it needs to have surgery, and as soon as that surgery is done and everything's been done, then he would send you to a physical therapist, and the physical therapist is going to actually take more time with you to set you on a good path and keep you accountable on that path, and figure out each week what might need to be adjusted in order for you to heal quicker.
That makes sense.
And even become maybe stronger than you were before.
And
Yeah.
and what I'm getting from this is, great, the doctor reset the bone, he put on a cast, but I need to walk now for
Right.
months in this cast. Now I need to remember how to adjust my walking. Now I got to learn to walk again.
Right, exactly.
Do you see the work that you do being something that is ongoing, or do you give them skills and then you have them practice the skills to get better and better? How do you measure your support model?
So my goal is definitely to teach them to be self-sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I usually work with people anywhere from 3 to 9 months, about 3 to 9 months. But I frequently do have people come back for tune-ups. You know, I might not see them for a couple years, and then they might kind of run into a bump, and they're like, okay, I just need, like, I didn't realize I kind of needed to work on this, and so I want to do a little bit of work around that.
I like that, tune-ups.
Yeah, yeah, but definitely I want them to learn to be self-sufficient. Don't want them to be dependent on me. My goal is to teach them the beauty and strength within themselves.
And I think that's important for people to remember. Sometimes they think, oh my gosh, I've had a relapse, there's something wrong with me.
That's
and
just
it's important to remember what you just said. Sometimes you just need a tune-up.
Yes.
I mean, you take your car in every couple thousand miles to get a tune-up to rebalance how it operates so it's moving and operating smoothly. Why don't you do it with yourself?
Well, it's that self-compassion piece is what it really is you're going to screw up. You're going to make mistakes.
You are.
And to go into shame and disconnection and things like that doesn't help it. To be able, it's so brave to be able to reach out and say, you know, I was doing so good, but now I kind of feel a little bit of a setback. But it's a cha-cha. You go back just a little bit, and then you go forward.
Cha-cha.
You're
going forward. Back to your dancing, your ballroom dancing. I love it.
Life is a cha-cha.
It's together.
It's not a race.
It's a cha-cha?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Because you do. Every now and then you think you're on the right path and you hit a wall and you take a step back.
Right.
And your message is, when you step back, that is okay. Give yourself the care, the compassion, and the skills to step forward stronger the next time.
Right, and be able to recognize that. Like if once you're further along in your recovery, then you can recognize that instead of just going into victim mode.
Yeah.
You know, being able to just recognize that, oh, say, hey, I do need to work on this, and I know how to do it.
Because trauma leaves you broken.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, there's this thing that you have on your website that I just love. It's this Japanese saying that talks about when things are broken, how they put them together again. And help me with this term. I think it's pronounced kinzuji. Is that close?
Yeah,
Kinzuji.
that's what I've heard pronounced, yes.
So what does kinzuji means?
So it's this beautiful concept that you may have this beautiful vase, let's say, and it falls and it gets broken, and that's what happens to us when we go through trauma. And here, kind of in the United States, we might super glue it together and try to hide that it was ever injured, that it was ever broken, because we want it to be restored to its original whatever. Well, we're not really ever restored to our original, and we don't necessarily want to be, because by repairing something with gold, which is what they do, they use gold to seal it back together, it actually becomes more resilient, and it becomes more beautiful and more interesting. And they value the character of it.
Yes.
They value the character of it.
And actually, believe it or not, I have some pictures.
Isn't it beautiful?
This is absolutely amazing. This is artwork. These were broken pieces that we either super glue together or throw in the trash. And in Japan, they use gold, and it comes back looking better and stronger.
They don't give up.
They don't give up. And your message with the therapy, I almost call it therapy.
I know, that's okay.
The coaching that you do is you want them to be stronger and to be better.
Right. And I want them to recognize that.
Wow.
That's a big part of it, is for them to recognize their value and their worth and know that they are enough. That what happened to them did not define them.
Good.
Yeah.
You do one-on-one.
I do.
But you also do more than that. You have workshops and classes and all types of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Talk about some of that.
So my favorite one, every Monday I have Mindful Monday class at my office
I
from
love
7
that.
to 8.
Alliterations, Mindful Monday, got it?
Yeah. Easy to remember. I need it for my own memory, right? And that is a class, it's a 60-minute class.
Do you have Thoughtful Tuesday?
No.
Oh.
But maybe I'm going to now.
Wise Wednesday?
Oh my gosh, I love it. You're going to have to send those to me.
So, Mindful Monday, what is that?
So that is instruction and experience on mindfulness and meditation.
Okay.
So I do about 30 minutes of instruction, which is very interactive, and it's a small group. I don't go more than 5, so that personal attention.
Yeah.
And then we do about 20 to 30 minutes worth of mindful activity of sorts and or meditation. So you actually get some experience, even if you can only do it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after a month, maybe you can do it for 5, and then you can do it for 7, because we just don't slow down, as we talked before.
I agree.
We're just going a million miles an hour, and it's not healthy for us. And then we're just reactive to life. Yeah.
So what one message you want our viewers to consider when they think about life coaching and the work that you do?
Okay. I want them to know that meaningful recovery is possible, and that this doesn't define them. Whatever happened to them does not determine the outcome of their life, and that reaching out for help is the bravest thing that they can do.
And is there a story that you would like to share, or maybe something that you have seen a client go through, no names of course, that helped them to get to the other side?
So I had a client who came to me years ago. She was one of my favorite clients, and she was in a very difficult spot in her marriage. And through some of this perspective taking and mindfulness about her own responses, she became so much more intentional about the way that she interacted. And her husband actually ended up taking on a foster care child. And she had not been a mother before, and that was one of her goals. And so she was able to stabilize her life and her relationship enough that she was able to do that.
Share love with someone else.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing she was avoiding all of this time.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
So that was really, I was really happy. I love to see people just grow and move forward in their life.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Well, it comes across. I sense that
thank you.
it oozes out of you that you want the best for those that you support and work with.
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm sure our viewers are thinking, I might want to know more. If there's someone out there who wants to maybe get involved with Mindful Monday, and when you set up Wise Wednesday, they can help with that.
Thoughtful Tuesday, Throwback Thursday.
But if someone is saying, you know what, I want to find out more.
Okay.
I want help. I want to have a discussion. I want to have a conversation. I want to sit across the table and talk about what I'm experiencing. How can they get help?
So there's a couple different ways to contact me. One is my website at reverelifecoaching.com, and that's REVERE Life Coaching. Okay. And so all my workshops and classes are there, and you can sign up through my calendar for that. And then you can also call me for a free consultation to set that up. I offer a 60-minute consultation to see if we're a good fit, if that's where we want to go. And then I have a great Facebook page. And so Liesel Revere Life Coach, you can search that, and I share on that several times a day. I share articles, I share thoughtful memes, inspiring messages, anything, any class or workshop I'm doing, I promote on there.
I'm so glad you came on today.
Yeah,
I feel better just talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
I know, and I got it for free.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate that. And thank you for joining us here at TV Toastmasters. We enjoy showing stories much like this that highlights what's happening in our community. Our Toastmaster clubs also help individuals grow with public speaking as well as leadership skills. If this is something that you would like more help with, I encourage you to find a Toastmaster club near you. Until next time, Oregon community, make it an amazing day.
I joined Toastmasters to improve my speaking, listening, communication, and leadership skills.
Toastmasters gave me incredible confidence.
Confidence.
Confidence. Great listening skills.
Poise.
Great leadership skills. Leadership skills.
The ability to speak in public.
Strength. A captive audience.
Quality feedback from the more experienced Toastmasters.
Toastmasters really helped me improve my listening skills.
Sales skills.
Opportunities to go to different groups and widen my whole horizon.
Toastmasters has given me a more focused me, and I'm a much better listener. Toastmasters is fulfilling.
It's a great place to fail your way to success.
Wonderful way to meet people.
Networking. Strength. It's addictive.
It's a club of self-improvement.
It's an experience, it's a ride that you won't forget, and you'll enjoy it every step of the way.
Toastmasters helped me land a kick-butt job.
I sang at one of my table topic speeches, and people liked it and applauded.
My business is doing great, and I'm very, very grateful to Toastmasters.
It's been a great experience for me.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for giving me so much confidence.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for everything.
Welcome to an opportunity to take the next step of your professional speaking journey. I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you ever wished you were a star in a television show? Or at an event where the media is interviewing bystanders and you are wanting to be picked to give your opinion of the event? Or even in the smallest sense, you're at a sports game and secretly hope that your smiling face would appear on that big jumbo screen TV? But the jumbo screen always finds the fans with the painted faces. And you think to yourself, maybe next time. Well, what if I can offer you a chance to be on TV? Would you take it? That is what I want to offer you now. I'm Dottie Love, Associate TV Producer and Director. Toastmasters International is one of the largest organizations whose mission is to help improve your speaking skills. And District 7 is expanding your opportunities to do speaking via television. We have 4 fully equipped television studios and TV Toastmaster broadcasts to over 500,000 homes, plus a YouTube channel. Who knew? We want to invite you to take advantage of using media and television, either in front or behind the scenes. Let me share a few options that you have. First, you can be a guest on a show. Highlight your business or hobby or your community interest. Anything you're passionate about. Be a featured guest. Secondly, you can train to be a host on an ongoing TV segment. We will train you for that. Third, what about creating your own talk show? We will train you for that as well and give you access to a community media studio to do just that. Or lastly, be behind the scenes, either running a camera or editing shows. You decide which avenue is best for you, and our TV Toastmasters team will help you to navigate to get the most out of your media experience. Personally, I've done them all. I started as a guest, went to hosting, up to directing my own TV show. I don't tell you this to impress you. I tell you this to impress upon you that your personal growth with Toastmasters is directly related to what you take advantage of. And I encourage you to be bold in looking for opportunities to stretch and grow. If this intrigues you, or if you have club members who you think that might be interested in this, please contact us here at TV Toastmasters. I'm Dottie Love, and you can reach me or any of us in the TV Toastmasters family at the contact information at the bottom of the screen. You can also find us on the web. Our website is 7512.toastmastersclub.org.
Hi, I'm Deb Hart. I'd just like to share with you how appreciative I am of being able to be a TV Toastmaster host. I get to share stories within the community, have people come on the show and educate the viewers, and talk about a subject that I'm very familiar with, and that's health. I encourage you to come aboard and be a part of our TV Toastmasters Host Club. It's fun. You'll have a good time.
Have a story that others need to hear? Seeking an audience for your message? Have an experience that can transform the lives of others? Practice your message and perfect its delivery in a TV studio while creating content for regional, national, and international exposure. That's right, get seen by an ever-increasing audience. Visit TV Toastmasters.
Ken Coombs here speaking about TV Toastmasters. As an area director, I see more value in that venue than perhaps some of you do, so I want to share that. Providing a televised voice for District 7, its clubs, and their members not only gives people a chance to come here and get a project ticked off that says speak on television, it gives contestants in an area contest or a division or a district contest at least a chance to come and practice and see what they look like. It gives people a chance to share an important message with the district, whatever that might be. So consider your next speech perhaps being on television. Not your 15 minutes of fame, but your chance to reach a broader audience.
I joined Toastmasters to improve my speaking, listening, communication, and leadership skills.
Toastmasters gave me
incredible confidence,
Confidence,
Great listening skills,
poise,
great leadership skills,
Leadership skills.
the ability to speak in public,
Strength.
a captive audience,
quality feedback from the more experienced Toastmasters,
Toastmasters really helped me improve my listening skills.
Sales skills.
Opportunities to go to different groups and widen my whole horizon.
Toastmasters has given me a more focused me, and I'm a much better listener. Toastmasters is fulfilling.
It's a great place to fail your way to success.
wonderful way to meet people.
networking,
Strength.
It's addictive.
It's a club of self-improvement.
It's an experience, it's a ride that you won't forget, and you'll enjoy it every step of the way.
Toastmasters helped me land a kick-butt job.
I sang at one of my table topic speeches, and people liked it and applauded.
My business is doing great, and I'm very, very grateful to Toastmasters.
It's been a great experience for me.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for giving me so much confidence.
thank you Toastmasters for everything.